The reason I have so many pairs of running shoes in my office is that years ago I got interested in how you hold your head still when you run. And a colleague of mine,
Lieberman and Dennis Bramble of the University of Utah, noting the vast number of evolutionary adaptations that make humans extraordinary runners, came to believe that our early ancestors used their endurance to chase down large prey, such as an antelope, until it collapsed in the heat of the African savanna.
interested in the problem of how did humans run before shoes, because obviously modern shoes were invented very recently, in fact in the 1970s, and probably the shoe itself is actually a recent invention, and for most of human history and prehistory, humans were either barefoot or wore very minimal shoes like moccasins or sandals. So we started studying barefoot runners, and as a result I've gotten very interested in how shoes affect running. So most shoes are, there's a cutoff of a shoe here, so most modern running shoes have a really high heel. And there's lots of, and the heel is very thick. It can be 2 or 3 centimeters thick, much thicker than the front of the shoe. And so this shoe is really designed with all these elastic elements here in the heel, so that when you land, if you land on your heel, it cushions the landing, so it's very comfortable to land on your heel. But if you run in a more minimal shoe, which this is sort of a classic minimal shoe, this is what a racer might wear, right? This shoe has no heel. This is what people wore regularly until very recently. And so it hurts to land on your heel in a shoe like this. So people, we think, before the invention of more cushioned running shoes, didn't land on their heels for the most part. They landed more under the ball of the foot. And that has different physical properties, so you have less exchange of momentum between the body and the ground. There's less collision when you land on the ball of the foot than when you land on the heel. So you can naturally run on very hard surfaces, barefoot or in very minimal shoes, quite comfortably. And that's how many of the world's very best runners run. They don't land on their heel, they land on the ball of their foot. And so as a result, we've been looking at other kinds of minimal shoes like this one, which I like to wear, and racing flats, etc. And so my life is full of shoes.